Hello class. Let us continue with the story The Sniper, and today we are going to complete this story by Liam O'Flaherty. We did reach a very interesting point in the story where this sniper, that is the protagonist of this story, uh, has killed two persons. So one is the man in the turret, that is the armored vehicle, and another one is the informer, old woman. So as you see on this page, the woman's corpse, that is the dead body, lays still in the gutter, and her body is lying in the gutter. The sniper lay still for a long time, nursing his wounded arm and planning escape. So we know that the sniper is seriously wounded on his arm. So he is taking care of this arm and he is thinking about how to escape, how to save his own life. Morning must not find him, and his wish is that when the daylight is there, when the next day begins, nobody should see him in the daylight, wounded on the roof. The enemy on the opposite roof, and he knows that there is an enemy soldier on the roof of the opposite building, covered his escape. So this enemy soldier is in his way of escape, is the obstacle in the route of his escape. So in order to save his own life, he has to run away from this place. But as far as the enemy soldier is there, he cannot escape. He knows that he must kill that enemy, and he could not use his rifle. So the only solution is he must kill this enemy. But the problem is he cannot use his rifle because his right arm is wounded. He had been shot by the enemy soldier in the arm, so he could not lift his right hand, and he could not use the rifle. He had only a revolver to do it, but he has a revolver. We know that rifle is a big gun and revolver is a small one. So he can, with his left hand, he can use that revolver only. But then he thought of a plan. But a plan comes to his mind, and he thinks about a solution from this problem. And what is that? Taking off his cap, so he removes his cap from his head. He placed over the muzzle of his rifle, and he puts the cap on the front point of the rifle. Then he pushed the rifle slowly upward over the parapet, and by putting that cap on the rifle, on the front part of the rifle, he pushes that rifle slowly upward the parapet wall, okay, where he was hiding, until the cap was visible from the opposite side of the street. So he raises his rifle in such a way that the enemy soldier on the opposite rooftop can see this cap. So, and his plan was to confuse the enemy soldier that this is the sniper himself, because there is a cap on the rifle which he should mistook as the head of the sniper. Almost immediately there was a report, and he succeeds, and the enemy soldier reports, that is, there is a reaction from him. And what is that? He fires. The enemy soldier on the opposite roof fires, and a bullet pierced the center of the cap. and there he hits. There is a shot from the enemy soldier and it hits the center of the cap, because the enemy soldier is trying to kill this sniper. The sniper slanted the rifle forward. The sniper, he slants, he pushes the rifle forward in the lower direction. The cap clipped down in the street. The cap clips down, the cap falls into the street. Then, catching the rifle in the middle, the sniper dropped his left hand over the roof. Then the sniper plays another trick, and now he takes hold of the rifle in the middle, and he drops his left hand over the roof and let it hang lifelessly. So this sniper is creating a scene as if he had been hit by the bullet and he is dying. So he just hangs his left hand lifelessly on the parapet wall, so that the enemy soldier on the opposite side of the street should think that his enemy, that is the sniper, is dying. After a few moments, he let the rifle drop to the street, and then he lets go the rifle, and the rifle drops on the street. Then he sank to the roof, dragging his hand with him, and slowly he pulls back his hand, that is the left hand. Crawling quickly to his feet, he peered to look carefully up at the corner of the roof. His ruse had succeeded. Ruse means a clever plan, a trick to cheat somebody. So he crawls back and he looks at the opposite rooftop, and there he sees that his plan is successful. The other sniper, that is the enemy soldier, the other sniper, seeing the cap and rifle fall, thought that he had killed his man. His man means the enemy, that is the sniper. So the opposite sniper, that is the enemy soldier, thinks that he had killed the sniper. He was now standing before a row of chimney pots, looking across with his head clearly silhouetted against the western sky. Silhouetted means to stand in a dim light in such a way that only the outline of one's body, now his head, is visible for the sniper. So now the enemy soldier is assured that his enemy, that is the sniper, is dead, and he is standing on that building, and his head can be clearly seen from the rooftop where the sniper, the hero of this story, is sitting, or he is lying there. The Republican sniper smiled. The hero of the story smiles and lifted his revolver. Now why is he smiling? Because he knows that his plan has been successful. He has tricked, he has deceived the enemy soldier that he is dead, and lifted his revolver above the edge of the parapet. Now he lifts his revolver. The distance was about 50 yards. So the distance between the sniper and his target, now who is the target? The enemy soldier, is 50 yards. A hard shot in the dim light, and he fires a shot in the dim light, and his right arm was paining him like 1,000 devils. So his arm is injured, and it is too painful to tolerate. So the expression used here is his arm was paining him like 1,000 devils, means it's a severe kind of pain because of the injury of the bullet. He took a steady arm. Took a steady arm. Aim means gradually he takes aim at his target. His hand trembled to shake because of fear or tension or stress. His hand was shaking with eagerness. Here he is very eager, enthusiastic to kill his enemy, and in that excitement his hand is trembling. Pressing his lips together, he took a deep breath through his nostrils and fired. And at last, taking a deep breath, he fires at his target. He was almost deafened because of that noise. He feels that he has become deaf. He was almost deafened with the report, that is the noise of the rifle, and his arm shook with recoil. Recoil means to quickly move away from something. Then when the smoke cleared, so after some moments, when the smoke of the rifle is cleared, he peered. Again he looks carefully across, that is in the opposite direction where he had shot the enemy soldier, and uttered a cry of joy, and he is very happy. His enemy had been hit, so he had killed the enemy. He was reeling means to move side to side. So the enemy soldier was reeling over the parapet in his death agony, pain, misery. He struggled to keep his feet, but he was slowly falling forward as if in a dream. And the enemy soldier is falling forward from that rooftop as if he is in a dream. The rifle fell from his grasp. Grasp is to hold something. Hit the parapet, fell over, bounded off, skip, nistundane, bounded off the pole of a barber's shop beneath. Now there is a barber's shop in the street below, and then clattered on the pavement. Clatter is the sound of the rifle falling on the street. So first the rifle of the enemy soldier falls on the street. Then the dying man on the roof crumpled up and fell forward. The crumple to become shapeless, gola mola hone. Then the dying man on the roof crumpled up and fell forward, and then the enemy soldier falls. The body turned over and over in space and hit the ground with a dull thud, dhapkan awaz. So his body at last falls on the ground in the street. Then he lays still, and then the enemy soldier remains there motionless without any movement. That is, the enemy soldier is dead. Now this is the climax of the story. Now we will see what happens after the climax. After the climax there is the resolution. Resolution is the solution and how the story ends. Coming to knowledge. Now what knowledge he gets, the protagonist gets by the end of the story is also very interesting. The sniper looked at his enemy falling and he shuddered. The lust of battle died in him and he feels annoyed, irritated. And lust of battle, the desire for battle, enthusiasm, excitement for the battle dies in him. Suddenly there is a transformation. He became bitten by remorse. He is now angry with himself, and as if he is repenting. The sweat stood out in beads on his forehead. So there is sweat, gham on his forehead. Weakened by his wound and the long summer day of fasting and watching on the roof Now he has become very weak. He He revolted from the sight of the shattered mass of his dead enemy. So he feels a sudden disgust, hatred towards the war and towards the. So he tries to move away from the dead body. His teeth chattered. Chattered means to talk rapidly, continuously, without any purpose. His teeth chattered. He began to gibber to himself. Gibber, that is chatter or speak rapidly without any purpose. Badbad karne. His teeth chattered. He began to gibber to himself, cursing the war, cursing himself, and cursing everybody. Now, this is the worst effect of the war on the mentality of the soldiers themselves. So he becomes as if mad, and suddenly he feels a kind of hatred towards war, and he starts speaking to himself like a mad person. He looked at the smoking revolver in his hand. Smoking revolver, the revolver madun dhur येत असतो. He looked at the smoking revolver in his hand, and with an oath he hurled it to the roof of his feet, and he suddenly throws that revolver on his feet, at his feet. The revolver went off with a concussion, hard shock, and the revolver suddenly opens up, and it fires a bullet out of that shock, and the bullet whizzed to move very quickly past the sniper's head. And fortunately, the bullet that comes suddenly from the revolver goes from above the head of the sniper. His nerves steadied, but gradually he controls his mind. The cloud of fear scattered from his mind, and he laughed. And then gradually that fear, that anger, hatred goes away from his mind, and finally he laughs because he has been successful in killing the enemy soldier. Taking the whiskey flask from his pocket, he emptied it a draught. Then he drinks a draught of whiskey from a flask in his pocket. He felt reckless, careless, under the influence of the spirit. And when he drinks wine, he drinks alcohol, that is the spirit. He suddenly feels careless. He decided to leave the roof now and look for his company commander to report. And suddenly he thinks that now he should come down from the roof, and he should report, he should inform his officer, company commander, that he had killed this enemy soldier. Everywhere around was quiet, so there was quiet atmosphere around. There was not much danger in going through the streets, and he decides that he can pass from the street and there is no much danger there. He picked up his revolver and put it in his pocket. He picks up his revolver and puts that revolver in his pocket. Then he crawled down through the skylight to the house underneath, and gradually he comes down to the house underneath, that is in the street, from that building, roof of the building. When the sniper reached the laneway, त्या रस्त्याच्या तोंडाशी, when the sniper reached the laneway on the street level, he felt a sudden curiosity as to the identity of the enemy sniper. But when he reaches the street down, there is a sense of curiosity in his mind, and he wanted to know who that enemy soldier was whom he had killed. He decided that he was a good shot, and he was thinking that the enemy soldier was good at his shot, that is, good at his aim, good at taking a shot of the revolver. He decided that he was a good shot, whoever he was. He wondered, did he know him? And he was thinking whether he knew this man. Perhaps he had been in his own company. As it was a civil war, So there was a chance that before the split in the army, before the division in the army, they could have been in the same company, that is, same branch of soldiers. He decided to risk going over to have a look at him, and he thinks that he can take this risk. He can go to the dead body to identify who he was, whether he was some familiar man or whether he was a fellow soldier before the civil war. He peered around the corner into O'Connell Street. So he looks into that O'Connell Street. In the upper part of the street, there was a heavy firing, but around here all was quiet, and he can listen to the firing going on the upper part of that street, that is O'Connell Street, but around him there was no firing, and it was safe to go to the dead body and to try to identify who the man was. The sniper darted to move suddenly in a certain direction. The sniper darted across the street. A machine gun tore up the ground around him with a hail of bullets. Hail, shower, वर्षाव, आणि सडनली त्याच्यावर बंदुकांचा गोळ्यांचा वर्षाव होतो. अ मशीन गन टोअर अप द ग्राउंड अँड फ्रॉम समवेअर समबडी aims at him a hail of bullets, but he escaped. But he saves himself. He threw himself face downward beside the corpse, and he throws himself and he falls by the side of the dead body of that enemy soldier. The machine gun stopped, and then the machine gun also stops, and then now here we have the final impression, the shock of the story, and the final sentence is, then the sniper turned over the dead body and looked in his brother's face. And when the sniper turns over the dead body and looks at the face of the man whom he killed, he comes to know that he was his own brother who was in the opposite army, that is the Free Staters. So it means in this civil war he had killed his own brother, and this knowledge comes to him at the last moment of the story. And this is the great thing about the storytelling of the writer Liam O'Flaherty. The reader, along with the protagonist of the short story, we the readers are also shocked that this protagonist, that is the sniper, had killed his own brother, and he comes to know this by the at the last moment of the story. So the end of the story makes us speechless, and this comes as a shock, and this is known as far as the structure of the short story is concerned, this is known as the final impression. And the greatness of a short story as an art depends on this. So in that sense, it's a great short story. So the end tells us that war is bad, war is just the loss of life, and whoever you kill, they might be your loved ones. The enemy soldier might be your own brother, as it happens with the protagonist of this short story, the sniper. Thank you.